Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how Amazon sellers can build a brand and also use that brand and promote it with video. So, we're going to find out the benefits of Amazon or building a brand on Amazon or with your e-commerce product, benefits of using video, the mistakes you can make and what you should look out for, and where to start. So, welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about how Amazon sellers can build a brand and promote it with video like a pro. Our guest, and she's one of my favorite people, has been marketing product and brand development for over a decade. She was a CEO and owner of two marketing agencies, one dedicated to brick and mortar companies and service providers, with the other focused on Amazon and e-commerce marketing. She was also responsible for growing an online DTC company sales to over $100 million annually. And she is currently the CEO and co-founder, I hope I'm saying this right, of Unifish. And that is Janelle Page, and she'll be joining us shortly. But first, a word from our sponsor. A big thank you to our sponsor, Startup Club, the largest club on Clubhouse with over 790,000 members and growing. They're one of the world's largest communities supporting the startup ecosystem, from founders to those wishing to work for a startup and everything in between. You can find them at www.startup.club for blogs, recordings, and a calendar of upcoming shows, and on the Clubhouse app. Just search Startup Club for daily shows 24/7. You can also now listen to their show, the Serial Entrepreneur Club podcast, on Apple and Spotify too. Stop by to connect, learn, and grow together. Okay, where is the boy Blunder?
It's me. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing today, Norm?
You had to ask, right?
How's your mouth doing today? I should
It's
clarify.
horrible. It's horrible. I thought I was going to have a root canal yesterday, and they just threw me on antibiotics, and they said, "Oh, that'll take a day or two." And I can't believe it. Thank you so much, Canada. It's taking 2 weeks before I can get my bloody tooth, a root canal on my tooth. So, anyways, fun. And I love torture. So I have a coffee here, which I'll try to stick to the right side of the mouth, and a Coke here. So, just hot and cold.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Okay. So let's get to it.
Yeah, so I just want to give a quick shout out to our Beard Nation, our Beardos joining us. We got Sunpenny Home and Garden. I have a feeling this is Claudia. Cool Hand 99, wonderful Wednesday. Nathan, how's it going? We got Rad joining us, and all the way from Georgia, Andrew, our pilot, our Beard Nation pilot, and Charles. It's good to see everyone. Let us know where you're watching from today over in the comments section. Also, if you are watching from YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It does a lot of good, and you get reminded that we go live. So also, just a quick note, one way to really help out the podcast is if you go to iTunes or the Apple Podcast and give us a review or a 5-star, or, whatever rating you think is fair, and leave us a comment, and that really that really helps us out. Also, hello, Uzair, and Rad is already throwing in a Wheel of Kelsey. So yes, we do have a giveaway today, and we're going to be jumping into that shortly. But yeah, don't forget to smash those like buttons. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying today's episode, and we can get started.
Okay. Yeah. And that Wheel of Kelsey, we've actually got a bonus as well, right? For everybody if they want to take part in it. But okay, looks like a lot of people are coming through. Oh, I just saw Mr. Ray come on. How are you, sir? I just left Ray a week or so ago in St. Louis. But okay. So if you do have any questions or comments, throw them over into the comments section. Now, welcome, Janelle.
Hey guys. Gosh, I feel like I'm not a beardo because I don't have a beard, but I just love that you're building a tribe and you guys are uniting around with a name. That's what every good brand needs. You need like a secret culture, and you need like signs and names. And so, way to go, Norm, for doing it
Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, and I meant this when I said you're one of my favorite people. We met in 2017, I think, in Cancun, and you were speaking at the Illuminati, now Helium 10 Elite, I believe,
right.
and you know you just knocked the socks off of everybody. And I've seen you speak at other conferences, but you're an awesome person. Like, you've got a passion for what you do, and I love it.
Oh, well, thanks, Norm. I actually really, really enjoy you as well. So when you said I was one of your favorite people, I was like, dang, that's high honor. So, and I
Oh,
hope that you bought Ethereum back then when I told everyone at that conference to get some Ethereum.
I did not. I
Okay.
did not. I'm still trying to get my head around what NFTs are. I
Oh,
like I'm trying to literally I that's my next project, is to understand why people pay money for these.
okay. Well, if you want someone that's worth your time, because there's a lot of people on YouTube to follow, but NFT Nanners, like a banana, Nanners. He's my buddy Kevin Sue, and he is an NFT genius. And he breaks it down so that you can even start to understand how you could apply it to your e-commerce services. So
Wow.
that's just a shout out to him, and that's who I like to watch. He's also really big on TikTok. He's blowing up right now. So you can go NFT Nanners, check him out.
I will. Yeah, if I can understand that. Oh, geez. Anyways, let's stick to the stuff I do understand,
Okay, let's
and let's talk a little bit about brands. So, a lot of the times we've had people on, we've talked a bit about brands and the importance of brands, but I think we should start there. And how do you take? And this is really important, because when we started out in Amazon, throwing up a product was one thing. Amazon, you could throw up anything, you could do the arbitrage play. But right now, even Amazon is saying, build a brand. We want brands. What's the difference, and why should we do that?
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, what's the difference is a brand is something someone can buy, or it would be interested in buying. And so if I'm building, and I think I understand a little bit about your audience, like, we're trying to build a business, and we understand that the big payday will ultimately come when we sell. And if not, like, I have a few brands, I've sold brands over the years. I have one that I've held on to over the years. It's like my golden goose. I don't have any intention right now of selling that. But I also know that at any time I could sell that and have a huge cash infusion to start another brand. And so when we think about that, it's like, why would someone, and you put yourself in that buyer's shoes, if you're looking to buy a business, do you want a hodgepodge collection of random products in a seller central store? Or would you be more interested in a brand? And I work with aggregators, and I also sit on boards, and that's about products. Start thinking about people and who it is you serve. Because when you have a crystal clear vision of who that person is that you're making a product for, it makes it so easy to market that product to them, because you understand the pain points of this person. It's a real life breathing human being with wants and needs and hopes and dreams, and you can connect with them on a really I say human level about your product. And so, if you're someone who's serving like a vegan soccer mom, think about that. You have that avatar in your head, and it's like, now you're not just limited to, like, I don't know, like, certain, like a recipe book or something. You think, well, what else does a vegan soccer mom care about? And, that could be everything from, maybe she's into sustainable, like, water bottles. And, maybe it's like, she doesn't want to use plates that, plastic plates. There's going to be things that this mom likes that you can build a brand around. So I always just tell people, it's very hard. Sometimes sellers will come to me for a consultation, and I look at their store, and they're kind of operating in that old, I call it like the 2014 model, where you're just trying to find high intent keyword search volume words and creating a product around that, ranking it up there, and trying to rack in sales. And that business model, like, I don't want to say it's dead, because I know some people are still doing okay with it, but it's not the way I would build a company right now and for the future, because even Amazon's discouraging that. They are giving priority and special placements to brands, and that's what they want on the platform, because a brand has people behind it that will buy the products. It's something of value. I probably rambled a little long.
No, not at all. But for me, when I'm looking at a brand as well, like, a lot of people think, okay, brand means it's expensive. I have to throw tons of money into it, and I think a brand is so important because it really tells you where you're launching, where you're coming out of the gates. And when I'm looking at Amazon, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but I find that and I talk about this quite a bit, but there's 3 levels that people launch at. The very bottom level, tier 1, which usually all the Chinese sellers are, all the very low, high volume, no profit, they're situated. Then you've kind of got the average seller in this mid tier. Then you've got the highest perceived value products, which usually are the most profitable, maybe not the most, they might not have the most traffic, but
Right.
they are the highest perceived value. Now, you can come out with I've bought a beard comb, and it came in a cello pack, and it was 79 cents. And this is the truth. It was 79 cents.
Yeah.
I wanted to check out on Amazon where this buyer was because I wanted to do a case study. And I did. It was a 39-cent beard comb. I got another one for $11.95 that came in a pretty nice package. And I got another one at $17.95. It was the same 39 cents or 36-cent beard comb. And it's just how they position their brand. And
Yeah.
I would pay, I don't know about you, but I would pay $17.95 all the time for something that looked really great and that you could, I don't know. I don't know if it's just trust, authority, value, but I would always launch at that level. I try to launch at that level. And I guess what I'm trying to say is if your brand is Dollar General, like let's say you have a dollar geared towards a certain price point, you don't have to spend a ton, but you still should have a quality brand behind it if that's where you're going to be.
Yeah.
So the question is budget. Where should we look? What type of budgets do we have to look at?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is not how much money does it take to create a brand. A brand is something that it's a promise. It's what you deliver on. It's what you believe. And so I don't think it's any more expensive to build a brand. Let's set advertising aside. I'm talking about just positioning. And positioning is something I'm super passionate about. We talk about building a brand. And the biggest part of building that brand is how do you sit in the marketplace comparative to the competition? And that's what we call positioning. And so, people use words like, what's your USP, which is your unique selling proposition, or what differentiates you. But literally, I want you to think about how do you position yourself and how do you create a category of one? Because that's all you need to do to set yourself apart as someone that has a competitive advantage in this sea of sameness. Now, I would say anyone on this call, if you're considering getting into Amazon, do not, for the love of everything holy, launch another commodity product. The world does not need another dog leash or another spatula. What the world needs is something unique, and that can be just an angle with a story where you're connecting with an individual person. And let me give you an example, because I know this all sounds like theoretical and beautiful speak, but if we can apply it, it's even more powerful. So when I do a lot of consultation and work with supplement companies, and I've been in that space for a long, long time. And, some of these brands, like they're just making, a multivitamin for everyone, which used to be okay back in the day with Procter & Gamble, where we just had generic brands for generic people. That worked. Like think of the 50s, 60s, 70s. That's a perfect example. But today we live in this hyper-connected world where everyone's niching down, and they always say like the riches are in the niches, right? Well, think about it. If you can make a multivitamin for everybody, you make a multivitamin for nobody, because today I can market to and say, I have a multivitamin that's made specifically and formulated with, proprietary ingredients for high-end gamers. You know what I mean? And I can promote this product to, esports teams. And like, if you're now someone who considers yourself a rising star or, enthusiast for, esports, or just even a gamer, are you going to be gravitating toward a multivitamin that's, formulated specifically for you, or that generic one made by, the generic household brand name? No, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about when I say positioning. Like even now, like I said this back in like 2017, when we were doing like the gaming industry was first coming up, we were doing like a cognition supplement for a nootropic. And it was just made for everyone. I was like, guys, we need to position this as either it's like, let's go with the executives right now, or like the solopreneur or entrepreneur, like let's position the product for that. Or let's go after like esports. Like, what if we made this nootropic that would like enhance your first person shooter abilities? I don't play a lot of video games, but I kind of know a few stuff, you know what I mean? Just from working with gamers, I do a lot with some YouTubers, but like, that's what I'm talking about. The power is you can get laser beam specific in your marketing messages, even in the naming of your product. Like, you would name a nootropic that's made for gamers completely different than you'd name a nootropic that's made for, say, hunters, or, you know, an executive. Like a sharp mind, you know, would be something that geared toward like that executive entrepreneur. Like, if you were doing something for a gamer, you would be thinking about, well, what's really important to them? Like, you know what I mean? And you would try to use those words, and it would have a whole different look. The logo design for a gamer would be different than the packaging and the design for an executive. And so, like I'm saying, this doesn't take any extra money. It takes a step back, building a foundation correctly, getting the nomenclature, the name of your brand, the positioning all in place, because that impacts how you design your label, how you name your product, and everything kind of, you know, snowballs from there. So I guess in a long-winded way, what I'm trying to say is, if you put the thought in at the beginning, you can build a killer brand that will outstrip your competition, because you're just competing on Amazon most of the times in a sea of sameness with people who are just launching, you know, crappy commodity products. And it's really unfortunate to the consumer. And when they do see, like Norm did, a $17.99 beard comb brush that stood out because someone put a little thought in at the beginning, and we're not talking money, we're talking about thought, which I know time is money, so it takes a little time, so it is money, but I'm just saying that's what it takes to build a brand.
And by the way, The Art of Shaving is a pretty good brand. They're selling that exact same beard comb right now on Amazon for $30.
Love it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But what was I just going to say? I lost my thought. Do you know Stephen Black?
No,
He's a great guy.
Okay.
So he was on just recently, and he was talking about even like going one step deeper, and everything that you mentioned, 100% bang on. But he goes and he monitors Facebook groups or groups, and, you know, getting to understand the lingo of how people are talking, what they're talking about, the different phrases that they use.
Absolutely.
And then he adds that into his Amazon listing or e-commerce listings too, which I thought was,
Genius.
really great.
Yep.
And the other thing too is a lot of people, and I've talked to people saying, well, you know, there's not a lot of people in this specific niche. Well, I sell to mutters. And mutters, in case you don't know, are people that are, you're probably a mutter.
They run races. The tough mutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I sell soap to mutters.
Yeah.
And it's very simple soap. And I say, get clean with mud. And I take Dead Sea mud and I sell it to mutters. And they actually buy it for higher than it normally would go for, but it's targeting a specific audience.
Yeah.
So you can do it to any size audience if you like. But
100%.
What a great point. Like, if you take anything away from this podcast right now, is understanding that audience and going for it. Great point, Janelle.
Yeah, well, you made it too, my friend. I think the one story, if you guys, in one of the free resources that we're going to upload at the end of the podcast, is an ebook that I wrote about this. It's misguided marketing, and it talks about some of the mistakes that business owners make when they market their business. I used this as my lead magnet back when I had a brick and mortar marketing agency, but I like to share it with Amazon and e-commerce sellers because it illustrates the point of getting hyper specific with your copy and your marketing. And I tell the story about when I first entered the supplement space, and we were doing athletic supplements, and we were trying to target like everybody, you know, so we were at the Arnold, you know, because we had like a pre-workout, a post-workout, and, you know, mid-workout type supplements, and just not really getting traction anywhere. But there was this new up and coming sport, CrossFit. And I mean, back then it was like just at a ranch in El Cucamonga, you know, California. And we decided to go all in on CrossFit. We were like, you know what, we can. And when we made that decision, it made everything like, it just laid out this beautiful path for our marketing. It was like, okay, when you now know that you're going to be the CrossFit supplement of choice, you know exactly what athletes you're going to lock into contracts that you're going to go after and promote your product. We went after every top CrossFit athlete. We knew what events we would be at. It'd be every CrossFit Open event. We knew which sports magazines to be in. It was in the WOD Open, the CrossBox, you know, everything. It made it so easy for us to hyper specific laser beam focus our marketing. And we crushed it. We became the #1 supplement sponsor of, or #1 supplement of all CrossFit. And we had all the top games athletes lockdown. So that's the power there. So that book will kind of go over that and help you think of how to apply that in your brand.
And one of the other things, when you're looking to be different, so you talked about basically the Me Too products and trying to be a little bit different. One of the things you can do to go and research your product, it doesn't mean that you have to revamp everything. It could be just about take a look at what the positive sides are or the negative sides. What are your competitors' reviews like? And see how
Yeah.
you can improve on that as well. And I see it all the time, and you know Afalabi. I
Yep.
mean, Afalabi's a genius.
Love
I'll
him.
give him a product and I'll say, look, I need to change this. This is what it is, a plastic shoe stretcher, and he'll come up with a minor change or a change that makes things just that much more convenient, or it addresses a pain point. And oh my gosh, that was it. And it didn't cost anything. It just might be a different material. So
Yeah.
anyways, I just want to make sure that don't worry about going and exploring it. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive. It can be. I mean, you can
Mhm.
go into molds and you can get into all this other stuff, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
Yep.
Now, just before we get into the video, so I'm going to get into the video for the second part here, but let's say, and we've touched on this, but can we go back and talk about I'm an Amazon seller, I'm looking at my product, I've got it. Now, where do I start? What's the most important piece to build that brand out of anything?
Okay, so you've got your product. What's the most important piece to build your brand? Well, hopefully, prior to doing your research, I always like to tell people, and I don't know where you're at in this journey, but if you can't see in your mind's eye or have an understanding of the second, third, and fourth product, you could potentially launch. You don't have a brand or a clear enough
Great
vision
point.
of who that brand is yet. And I would say that's where I would maybe take a pause and think, what brand am I building? Because you need to be thinking like that. If you're thinking about building a brand, that helps you. I'm not saying you ever have to have 4 products, although I think it's the fastest way to $1 million business.
Mhm.
But I do think you need to have that kind of clarity about who you're making this product for, that you could easily in your mind say, this would be another product for them that I could launch. This would be, because then you get crystal clear about their hopes, wants, fears, dreams, and you know how to connect with your communications with those people. And that comes, like Norm said, by doing your research. The best place on the planet Earth is your Amazon reviews. And if you don't have a product yet, I'm talking about in that space on products similar, you can read the FAQs, you can read all of the reviews. You can also hop over to Reddit groups, Facebook groups, and you can get so much information about these people. And I'd like to look in the Facebook ads library, look at my competitors, what kind of ads are running, which ones are being successful. And I'm not kidding you, everything's being handed to us today on a golden platter. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. So I'd like to I see that we already have some questions coming in, but if you do have questions about your brand, or the next part will be the brand promoting your brand with video, please put it in the comments section. If you just have comments, just about how you've built your brand or any mistakes you might have made, or some really great comments, throw them in there. We are going to be giving away a super giveaway today. Janelle, why don't you just tell everybody about the giveaway?
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know how much we talk about video or not in this podcast. Norm and I can just riff on anything these days. So anyhow, I normally I get asked to speak a lot and teach, just share some of my learnings. And one course that I've taught a couple times over at Prosper, they charge $500 for people to attend the course, and it's my how to use video to increase your e-commerce sales. So I have created a course that I just sell called Video Sales Machine. It's that same content that I teach at Prosper. Don't tell them, but it's usually $500. And for Norm's audience, for you beardos today, I've got a sales page for you. You can get it for $97, and there's somebody lucky that's going to win it today for free. So
That's perfect. So you've just loaded us up. You've got a free ebook. You've got this $500 course for $97, and somebody's going to get it for free. So hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you will get a second entry into it. It's a great prize. So before we get into the next part, let's go to a sponsor, Kels. The Legion is your go-to community where you can learn, grow, and build your Amazon and e-commerce business. As you know, being an entrepreneur can be lonely. Now you can share struggles, build a network, and celebrate your successes. And guess what? Our community is free. All you have to do is head over to our Facebook group to join. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel at Private Label Legion so you can stay up to date with tips, strategies, and advice from other experts in the industry. Okay, remember one thing. To get all this great information, follow us, subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get automatic notifications. All right, one last thing. When you're setting up your product, do you buy your competitors and do you ever buy your own product?
Oh, absolutely. Like I buy all my competitors, and not even that. If I see someone that like, if I see the review velocity super high on like the Helium 10 X-ray tool, I sometimes like will export it and then add a column so I can see the review velocity percent. And that's easy to determine by simply taking the number of orders they have and dividing their reviews by the number of orders, and you get a percent of how much, and the average for Amazon is like a 3 to 5% review rate. If I see someone that's got a 10 or a 15% review rate, I want to know what they're doing. And so I'll put an order in for their product and just see, like, are they doing lid stickers? Are they doing an insert? Are they doing something black hat or illegal? Like, I like to, reverse engineer what people are doing. Absolutely.
Okay, so we could go on. This could be a whole podcast just on what we've been talking about, but I do want to talk about video content. And it is so important. There's so many people not doing it, which I don't know about you. I think Dan Fernandez over at Thomason, and he put out a report showing that there's 480% more engagement when you put out a video compared to an image. So it's important. And this is something that you've really got a great grip on. Can we talk about that for a bit?
Yeah. I mean, I'm huge on video. In fact, I've been using video in marketing since 2012. Like, I would rank videos on the first page of Google. It was the fastest way to hijack like a first page ranking back in the day, is create a video and do the SEO, because it was right. Google had bought YouTube and then they were married. So like, I'm a huge video marketer, and I just brought that skill and expertise to my e-commerce endeavors. I tell you, in the course Video Sales Machine, you're going to learn my playlist stack attack method, which is killer. If you're not using it, I don't have time to go into it today, but if you have the course, it'll walk you through it. But there are so many places on the Amazon detail page where you can and should be using video, and they drive sales. Especially down at the bottom, it used to be called the related shorts, and now it's just like the related videos. If you can get videos up on those and make sure your competition doesn't end up there, those videos drive, depending on the traffic on your detail page, minimum 3 to 4 purchases a day. So like, I have access to some of our back-end analytics with some of the influencers that we use. And, some of the live streams and the uploads, we're not there yet, right? I believe in live commerce. I'm investing hugely in it because I know Taobao is huge in Asia, and I just know we usually lag behind. So I am a believer, but right now Amazon's still trying to figure it out. There's some people crushing it with live stream, but the most of the people that are trying to get your money and have you pay them, it's not generating the return that we'd hope. But I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but okay, so video. You absolutely, every single product that you have should have a video on that detail page. So if you notice you have 6 images, you can actually have 7, but if you want a video, that 7th image can be a video. And then also you have a light box that can pop up with up to 10 more. So again, in the Video Sales Machine, I'll talk about the playlist stack attack. But for right now, let's just start with the basics, and let's make sure all of us get a video in that 7th image slot. That can do the best selling. Remember, people on your listing, when we shop, like you go into a retail store, you get to pick up and hold and handle a product. When we are on the internet, we don't have that luxury. And so the video can take that place. It gives someone the ability to see the product in use. You can go much deeper into the benefits. You can show it, like if it's a bag, someone holding it, how it unzips. You can go through all those features and give people close-ups. You know what I mean? So images are, great, but a video, we say like an image speaks 1,000 words. Well, a video literally speaks 1,000,000. Just if you go do the math, like they've done infographics, go type in like video speaks 1,000,000 words, and it'll break it down how many frames per second your brain can process. And it literally is 1,000,000 words that a video can do in, like, I think it was how many seconds, like 3 or something like that. So here's an example. Let me just tell you really quick, because I thought this was fascinating. I was reading a study about, like, if you ever watch like the movie, like The Bourne Identity or some kind of action movie, in just a 10-second frame, they talk about the movements, the lights. Like, think of Jason Bourne when he's in like the race car, like, he's always in a race car in those movies. I get so sick watching them. Like, I like watching them. I don't get sick of watching them, but I get kind of dizzy watching them. Now, in 10 seconds, they talk about if they were to try to describe in words everything that your brain just processed in one of those like high action scenes, how it would be like 50 pages of, text. And I thought that was really fascinating. That's the power of video.
Wow. 50 pages of text for that.
Yeah. To try to convey what that scene of 10 seconds did for your brain. So
if we go back to the Amazon related videos, one of the things that we try to do too is we try to put up almost a how-to or tutorials with thumbnails, and then it looks like when we upload it, that it's consistent with the brand. Actually, that's why we did it. But how to do this, how to do that, 5 reasons. Well, not the 5 reasons why, but you get it. It's the features, the benefits, but they're in detail. And they're taking up all those slots. So it just looks fantastic when somebody's looking at it.
Yeah.
And just taking up that space where a lot of people just let their competitors come on and steal their sales.
It's funny, like a lot of people just don't even know like how that section works. They're not even clued in that you can actually upload your own videos there.
Yeah.
Add a video. You can load your own. You don't even have to have an influencer do it. Go take your own space. The only time you'll get supplanted is obviously Amazon's using that real estate to drive conversion. So if your video is not helpful or super good and an influencer makes a better video there and it gets more click-throughs and purchases, I can't remember how many spots are down there. It scrolls for a little bit, but they'll move yours out of a position to put one that's converting better. So just know you got to make them good. I mean, for right now, you could throw up a bunch of stuff if you don't have it, but if someone makes a better video, they have the option of kicking you out. So my goal is to make sure no one kicks me out. I always have the better video.
Well, back on that 7th video, I've seen some, like I sell a lot of higher end knives, and they have a huge budget for video.
Yeah.
What type of budget do we have to consider?
This is fun to talk about because I can spend a lot of money, but I also receive great joy in being frugal. I've been frugal my entire life. And everyone who knows me has always just laughed because of it. You have so much money. I don't like when they call me tight because that means cheap. I'm not tight or cheap, but I am frugal. I like to here's something I've done my whole life. I like to take the money I earn and buy an asset. It keeps me in like a broke mentality. And, if you just have a lot of cash always sitting around, like I feel like you maybe lose some of that hustle. But for me, it's also a game. I like to, it's like Monopoly, buying things. So just know that the more you can learn to be scrappy, I think the better you do, because the scrappy guerrilla marketers are the ones that are forced to think creative. And everyone else who's just kind of doing what everyone else is doing, you don't stand out. So I want to encourage you that and let you know that not having money can sometimes be a blessing, or having the mindset that you need to do it more creatively and on the budget friendly, it could be your advantage. So how I get around it, if I were you and I didn't have a big budget for video, because it is nice to have a big budget for video as well. So I'm not saying don't do that, but you can have a person that talks, and it's like QVC, basically live streaming a video on how to sell it. That kind of video works. That's why QVC still crushes it in sales. And that's why every single platform is trying to figure out live streaming. So on a budget, your iPhone setup, this camera that I've got on my computer, it's like really nice camera. And I think it was less than $100. You can sit and you can talk about your product, and you can have someone else talk about it. But if you're the person who developed it, you're probably the one that's most passionate about it. And you tell the story about the product and show people what they want to see. And if you're like, well, I don't even know what they want to see, I'm like, this is where your research comes in. You should have read all of your competitor reviews, your FAQs. You've done this research before you launch the product. You should know exactly what kind of words and pain points people have around this product that you decided to launch. And you can talk about that. And if you don't want to talk about it, you say, well, I'm bad on camera, or I have an accent, or that would not be good, I don't have a good setup. You can literally hire people that can do it for less than $100. They're professional actors. In fact, in one of my video courses, I think I might teach it in the Video Sales Machine. If I don't, anyone on this podcast can email me or contact me, and I'll get you a link to the website. But in the United States, every state has like what we have, like actors that put their portfolio up. And I'll tell you what, I've made videos from these actors where I'd hire them for like $100 to come in for a full day of shooting video. And they're professional actors, and they're phenomenal. And they'll memorize a script. Yeah. In fact, you remember when I did that Svelo brand, the weight loss shake? I know Afalabi knows about that one, but I hired, her name was Whitney. And she was so cute. And I showed the process. Like I put out a little write-up about what I was looking for, the commercial I wanted to make, whatever. And if you guys want to go look, just type in on YouTube. It's Svelo Shakes. And you can just go to YouTube and you'll see this actress. She cost me $500 and we got like 5 commercials out of her. And she's a professional. I'm not kidding you. That's the power of learning about, and the videographers too. If you live in the United States, I'm sure every country has something similar. At the colleges, they have videography programs, or the local community college has these as well. You can get a videographer to come shoot for you for like $100, maybe with inflation today, $200. But you can bang out a ton of video in one day. The hardest part for most people is like, well, what do I say in the video, or not knowing what to do? And that's why, if we're talking about this, I wanted to throw in video sales machine, because I literally walk through all the different types of videos that you should use on your, e-commerce store, Amazon, giving you scripting tips, templates, and just kind of helping you, teach you what I've learned over the years. This is not a hard pitch for it, but I'm just saying I can't really convey in like 10 minutes how to do it all, but that course, I thought that would be a good resource for you.
Now, those people that you're hiring to act,
Mm-hmm.
are any of them influencers? Can you use them for influence?
Oh yeah, I love. Okay, so a lot of the actors don't have that will be on these type of websites. They're not going to be like Julianne Hough or something that has millions of followers, right? They're not going to be doing that. But there's two different, if we're talking UGC videos, that's different too. I do UGC type videos, and UGC can be anyone, right? That just talks about your product. If you want to see how we do this well with Glamnetic is a good example, or INH, insert names here. Go just type us in and look at all of our UGC contact. And a lot of those people are influencers that we reach out to. We have gifting programs and we're giving them product and stuff to do that for us. Some of them are being paid, some are not. But anyone that has a following is an influencer. And I tell you, well, I shouldn't say anyone who has a following. Anyone that is truly, like if you go to Instagram, I like the micro influencers. And I'll tell you what, I probably have like less than 1,000 followers, me personally. But if I were to post on my Instagram page about a product I love, I would drive far more engagement than most of these people out there that have hundreds of thousands of followers. And that's because either they bought followers, or they are not have an engaged audience, or people know that they're an influencer. And so they may be getting paid or promoted to say that. So I think there is merit. Actually, I don't say I think. I know there is merit in micro or nano influencers, because they truly aren't when they say something, people believe them, because they're not an influencer, if that makes sense. But we all have our realm of influence. So I want you to know, you don't have to think you have to go get big brand deals. They do help, trust me. My friend just launched a supplement brand in JP Sears endorsement. I don't know if you know who JP Sears is, but he's a comedian and he's also an activist. He's got a really good following. And he drove $30,000 in sales from his post, right? Wow. So that's powerful, but that was really, really expensive. And if you have more time right now than you have money, you can get an army of nano influencers who you give your product to or give a discount code to, and you can get them with their 100 friends who actually believe what they say, because they're not being paid or promoted to do it. That's a great way to get traction initially.
Now, one of the other things that's popular right now too is changing the structure. Let's say you're going out to a micro influencer. Well, Amazon's got that referral bonus program right now. And instead of giving a flat fee, you might give the product for free, and then provide them with, hey, you get 10% of all sales coming in based on this link. So that's another way that wasn't around a little while ago. You're not losing anything. Yeah. You're gaining a ton, and you're giving money back to somebody who wants to promote and likes your product.
Yeah, and it's easily to track it with, because they'll have their associates dashboard where they can show how many sales they've drove. You have your brand referral. I've also had, prior to where people were giving the brand referral link, that they would just say, show me your associates dashboard and I'll double your money. You know what I mean? Because you can see what the sales that they've driven for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, every year those poor influencers, their commission goes down on Amazon, right?
I know.
Used to make like 15%, and now like supplements are like 3% for these.
What
people.
are they that low now?
Yeah, the supplements. Like most, I looked in just the other day because I was working on a deal with one of the influencers, and beauty and like home improvement, they're like 8% and 6%. So at least those ones are higher. But yeah, I know I have an associates account myself, and I was driving. My account got shut down because I was driving people through my own link, which I didn't know was against the rules. And so, but I was driving probably $100,000 in sales through that link because I was doing a ton of Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And they shut my account down. I had like $10,000 in commissions in there, and I don't get the money ever now. But it's just so you know, so you don't have this happen to you. But if you're the owner of the account and the brand, you're not supposed to use your associates link.
You're okay. Just this, okay. So you're not allowed to use your associates link to link back to your brand if you're selling something.
Yeah, like me as an influencer, I was
Yeah.
using on my brand, and I guess that's a no-no. Even though I still like read their policy, and I'm like, I don't see where it says this explicitly, but they don't, and they're like, they just shoot you dead, and like no, like don't talk to me about anything. So I'm not like super sad over it, but I was kind of like, darn, I kind of liked having that account.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been at a couple of events where there's been people on stage saying that, and they're pretty big influencers, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
So you got shut down. Interesting.
Yeah, and you know, I have to go look at the message. I mean, this was probably 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Was that I was violating policy by using my brand with my associates link. So I was like, geez, who knew? and you know, I also wondered how if they just won't get flagged, because I was also using my mini chat funnels, which at the time people are saying, Amazon watches those chat like hawk. A lot of sellers use those for the rebates and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're not doing that, it won't be caught by them. But they saw all my mini chat traffic. Bummer.
Oh man. Okay, we're if you do have any questions about video content, please post it.
Oh, yeah,
We've got a few minutes to go before we get to the questions. Let's talk about mistakes. What are what's kind of the do's and the don'ts of making video content?
Okay, well, my biggest pet peeve is always like the audio. If your audio is bad in a video, like it you know, the wind and like cruffling, or just they can't hear you, like people, that's low quality. Like just take get a good microphone. When I say good, like I give examples in the course, but like you don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a microphone. You can get good ones for $14.99, $19.99. And even on your iPhone, sometimes I'll just do a voiceover in my voice apps. And export that, and you can go into like your closet. And in fact, when I do a lot of voiceover work, I do a lot of my own voiceover work. I don't know that I have a good or bad voice, but I can read, and I know when to like, you know, accentuate like words and stuff. So you see how Norm's kind of got this nice podcasting room. He's muffled like the vibrations. You can see his soundboards. Your best place is in your closet if you have a lot of clothes that hang up and stuff, because it will not get a lot of bounce. Those clothes will absorb that noise. So I'll go into my like walk-in closet, I'll shut the door, and then I'll use my voice apps note, and it's a beautiful recording. And I've done like for Fortune 500 companies, like our commercials, I've done the voiceover work. Nobody would know that I've done it in there.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, I just, over the years, I've learned hacks. And in fact, my business partner, he's no longer with us. He's passed away from a brain tumor, which was terrible and sad. But he would go into his like bathroom and put like a big heavy quilt over his head, like, you know, kind of like ET in a tent, and he'd record his voice app, you know, with a little flashlight and a thing. So guys, it just takes a little creativity is what I'm saying. It's like, you can compete with the big boys. You got enough hustle and enough ingenuity. It's game on.
I wish you told me earlier, because I could be doing this out of my closet instead of putting all this up.
Yeah, but that looks super professional. I mean, obviously, if someone's going to see that now, they're like, wow, that looks great. So that's one of your things. Make sure you have clear, crisp audio. If you're live talking, then you're going to want to have a nice like Sennheiser mic, or I actually bought one. I linked to everything. Oh, darn, I need to pull my links out. But Sennheiser I have, like where the wireless, but there was a brand that I bought. In fact, I think I've got it in my closet. I could go grab it, but it works just as well. Same type of wireless situation. So that if you're going to be, you know, talking in the video, you can have that on and you'll get really great sound. You can pipe it all through your iPhone. You know what too? Here's a secret sauce for you. Go to YouTube and just like type in best like studio setup for under, you know, $100 or, you know, on a budget. Yep. And you'll get these YouTubers showing you, here's the lights I recommend, here's the mic. And like, I mean, those are the kind of things that like you just do. Like you'll get so good at this. I always tell people, Google is your best friend, and so is YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube and Google.
Yeah. And, another piece of equipment that I think is important too, you don't have to have the best setup, but just half decent lighting.
Lighting.
If it's horrible lighting, that's a problem.
Yep.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit more about the strategy, and that'll be the last, and we'll get into some of the questions. You've got all these videos, you're producing all these videos. What's the strategy when you've got them?
Yeah, yeah. So like, I always say, and that's the most important thing is like, what is the video? What is the purpose of the video? Because you got to have videos for all your different platforms, and they all have different like formulas to make them effective. So if you're making a video for Facebook and it's going to be an advertisement that's driving to a landing page, that's a different type of video than the video you're going to put on your e-commerce detail page. If you're going to make a video for YouTube, you know what I mean, that's going to run as an ad or just as a standalone in search that's keyword ranked. Like that's why I always tell people, just like we talked about at the beginning of this podcast, how set the foundation of like your brand and understanding who it's for and the people that you serve. Before you ever make a video, I want you to think about what is the purpose of this video? What platform is it going to be used on? Because then we know what script to get into our toolbox and pull out the tool needed to make an effective, high converting video. Okay. So let's say if right now we're talking about this is going to be a detail page video, then we're going to be making a video in my mind. I put myself in the shoes of the consumer. Now we know typical Amazon behavior is if they're coming to Amazon, they're usually doing a little bit of research. If they don't type a brand name, if they just type in, let's say, like a potato peeler, they're looking for the best potato peeler. And because it's a cheap product, they're probably not going to search too much. So let's do something a little more applicable. Like I just barely was looking at Pilates reformers. They're these big tables and machines. It's a more high-end purchase. So I'm going to be looking and shopping, browsing all the different offerings. Now, of the Pilates reformer tables, it's like a $2,000 purchase. There was not a one with a decent video on there. Okay. One had like Jane Fonda, I swear, doing a workout on the Pilates reformer, like in 1980s, like retro Lycra. And I was like, hey, like these guys need a video. This is a big purchase. Like show me like why I should spend $2,000 on your product compared to the competition. Now, it doesn't always have to be high price. An example, if you want to go on Amazon right now and type in Spike Ball, this is one I just know because I was just looking at it and my kids play it. There's one that's a knockoff brand. Like I think Spike Ball's like $30 or $50. I can't remember. But the other one's $20 cheaper. And I watched the video and they were masters. Like Spike Ball made the name in the marketplace, right? There's more branded search for Spike Ball than there is for like, beach volleyball, small net, whatever all the subsequent keywords are. They created the category. This Amazon seller was genius because their video, they literally show their product and talk about how it compares to Spike Ball product without using Spike Ball name, but they have an actual Spike Ball like yellow, and they're doing like our product, leading competitor. And they're talking about, same balls, same amount of balls, same quality construction. They're showing everything $20 cheaper. Like, man, if you're Spike Ball, you kind of got to hate that. You got to hope that, man, people just want to buy you because you have the name. But like they went over every point where you would be thinking, well, they're probably cheaper, they're probably worse quality, and no. And then that was their first video where they basically showed how quality their product is and how you get more for your money with this product. And then they also just then showed like another video was how to play the game. So it was adding value. Like they went through multiple videos. They used the light box and had all that structure for conversion. And I thought it was just genius. Another example, like Kelty, they do a really good job on their product detail pages showing the products. Like one of them is at the campsite, you have like these foldable tables that unfold and you can sit down. So they show the guy, like, you think about all the questions. If you go read the questions in the FAQs, it's like, how much weight does this hold? How small does it fold up? These are the questions people want to ask. So, of course, the guy is just a guy that works for Kelty. And he's basically, this is why I say you can do this on a budget. He opens it up. He's holding it. He's like, oh, look how easy it is to unfold in less than 5 seconds. And he sets it down. And then he's like, look how much weight it can hold. And he starts packing like books on it. And then he sits on it. And he's like, up to 230 pounds. And then he shows it in use. He's like, great for playing cards. And he like deals some cards out on it. And he starts like in the mind painting the picture of how the consumer can use it in all these different use cases. brilliantly done, cheap. That thing costs you probably nothing but, you know, your in-house video, you know, the guy filming it and having one of your employees talk about the product. So I think that's why people will sometimes get in this loop of thinking, I need this high-end video production with like spinning knives and like really cool effects. And I'm like, yeah, no, like I don't like buy a knife based on like the fact that a CAD drawing spun across the screen. I want to know, like, hey, is it dishwasher safe? How's the blade strength? Does it have a full, something that you call it when the knife runs all the way through the handle. That's really how you know you have a quality knife, is that metal will run through the handle. Like, those are the things I can't really necessarily see on the picture. If the seller hasn't called those out in an image, how will I know that? Well, you could show me that in a video. You could show how easily it chops things, you know. Just go watch a few QVC commercials and you'll be like, oh, genius. It's the best way to sell.
Nice. Yep. Good points. Okay. And it looks like we've got a bunch of questions here too, Kel. So
Cool.
we should start them. What do you think?
All right. Let's see our first question. Let me see which is a good one to start with. From Cool Hand 99, is it worth creating a name for all products in my line, even if they are somewhat common product?
100%.
One example is I have a bamboo steamer bundle.
Yeah. What's in a name? Everything. And that's exactly how it works with products. Let me ask you, do you want to buy a bamboo steamer, or do you want to buy the, you know, I don't know what your brand name is, but like, just think about it. Like, I launched a toy line, right? And the toy lines had killer names. Like, I didn't just have a kite. I had the Kickfire Cottavoo kite. And the Cottavoo was an exotic bird that looked just like the kite. And so, you know, then we would launch a bunch of other kites. And it wasn't just like, you know, kite number 2, kite number 3, everything that has a name that impacts in the consumer the value of the product, especially if it's a cool name. You know, like I think about, like, I'm just launching some gloves with a motorcycle company, and we have like the 508 tacticals, and then we're doing the 507 cruisers. Like, if we just call them the M1 Moto glove, I mean, that's cool, but like, dude, the M1 Moto 507 tactical and the M1 Moto 508 cruisers, like, game over, you know? So that's part of that perceived value that you're doing when you give something a name. And just like an example, like, you apply this to everything you're ever trying to sell. Like, the video sales machine. If I would have just said, hey guys, I got a course on how to make great videos, just go check it out. You know, that's not as compelling as like, I got the video sales machine, like the video sales machine course. Like, it's how to create compelling video that converts like crazy. Like, the name sounds like it delivers value. So definitely I would name those products, and I'd I call it a nomenclature. And I think I talk about that in the video sales machine. If not, I have a branding course where I talk about nomenclature for branding is super important. That's why all of my brands, I think, do so well, is because I launch them and I have this naming hierarchy. It organizes in the consumer's mind, and it just, everything kind of looks and sounds amazing and awesome. And it's just, that's part of branding that we can teach in a branding course one day. But
all right.
Okay, our next one is from pinclasses.com. Are there any iPhone apps you can recommend for user-generated videos?
Oh, okay. So you're looking for one like where people can, are you looking for a platform where there's already influencers and you can get them to, like, Grin is a good one, you know, that we use for influencers to find them and stuff. But if you're looking for an app that will make videos, I think someone said testimonial.io or TO the other day, where people can quickly record testimonial and upload it and send it to you. But yeah, I need more clarity, like what you're hoping to use that for. Are you wanting to put it on an insert, someone scans a QR code for them to be able to generate a video for you? I've used so many different apps. Like, Viral Sweep has an app where I can do video uploads to a page and people can vote on them. So maybe a little more clarity, and I could try to answer that better for you.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Our next question from Simon. I make beautiful wooden balance bikes that replicate real motorcycles for kids 2 to 5 years old. My brand is super niche focused, worked well in stores pre-COVID, transitioning to e-com. Do you have any advice?
Oh, yeah. So, like, you already know that you've already got proven market demand, right? You have a minimal viable product that's sold well in retail stores, which is crazy because retail stores get like very little foot traffic. So now you get to take your bike and you get to put it in, basically, you were selling in a cul-de-sac before, and now you're going to be at the state fair. So I always tell my kids, if you're going to have a lemonade stand, we don't put it in a cul-de-sac. We go to the state fair. That's you. You're taking your product now and you're going to put it where all the eyeballs are. And I know those bikes. I know exactly what they are, like the Strider bikes, because I bought them for all my kids. They're fantastic. Now, why would someone buy your wooden one over a Strider bike? Is it because it looks cooler? I mean, so that's the angle you need to start figuring out. Who is that person? Because Strider's got a huge brand. They've got the corner on this market. You got to figure out an angle as to why yours is cooler and better, or why they should, support your product when they could go with Strider. Or probably there's a billion now Chinese knockoffs that are super cheap. So that's where I want you to be thinking on, and then you'll nail it. And now, not only do you don't have to rely on Amazon for those sales. You can start reaching out to those people on Reddit, Facebook groups. You can do some direct marketing and getting people aware that your product exists, because you're probably not going to surface in the search results for a while without some PPC spend.
Now, this is pretty cool because I know Simon. He's over in the UK. He's been on Dragon's Den. His product has been sold to David Beckham. The royal family has got his. Yes,
he's got UPC out the wall. I'd be running ads if you got that kind of endorsement. You should be running Instagram.
Oh, they're not endorsements. We learned the other day, by the way, that that was do not do. But but the royal family has actually purchased one of the products from them.
So okay. Can't you go get, because I have a product as well where like Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and all those guys were using it. We can't run those ads without their permission, correct? But we get their permission. We even have some of the top ski athletes that use this product as well, that we had to get their permission to run for ads. But it's worth asking, man, because that it's a killer way to skyrocket your sales.
Yeah.
I want to go look at Simon. Throw a link in here or message me. I want to check out your product for sure, because I'll buy them for my nephews and nieces, because that's super cool. I love those bikes.
All right, there we go. Our next question, I love this question. I think this is interesting. From Yanni. Hi, Norm, Kelsey, and Janelle. Thanks for another amazing podcast. My question to Janelle is, what emotion?
I can read that one. I can cut, and like, dude, they should buy. I don't care what emotion they should. The emotion should be, holy shit, I need that product. And that's like, you know what I mean? Sold. That's what kind of video you want on your e-commerce page. It's a complete job is to convert into a sale. That's a job of that video. And so, the emotion that gets someone, depending what that product is, if it's like, say you're in the pain supplement space, the emotion should be relief, like, oh my gosh, an excitement, like I finally found something that's going to resolve my pain or be a solution to my pain. So that emotion is going to be dependent on what type of product and the problem that you solve or the person that you serve. So that's the kind of, you try to think, okay, reverse engineer what will cause my person to take action. And that's the emotion that, you'll want to relieve or cause to arise that would lead to a sale. Great question. Take my money. That's right. I'll ask the queen. Good, John.
All right, so we have just a few more questions.
Yep.
From Claudia. Hi, Janelle. How do I decide what my brand should look like as far as brand colors, fonts, logos? We will be launching our first product on Amazon soon. Thank you.
Great question, Claudia. So this is where, and what a great question. This is why knowing who the person is, the ideal person that will buy your product, is so important, because then you can get an idea of what kind of colors would resonate with them and a name. Like I said, if I'm making a product for a CrossFitter, the colors, the name is going to be so different than if I'm making a product that's targeted at a bikini bodybuilder model. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where I'm saying, okay, this product that you have, and if you don't want to reveal it, that's fine. Who is it for? And if you say everyone, that's where I always tell, then you're no one. You're marketing to no one. It's like, you can't stand for everything, or you'll fall for anything, right? So you have to pick something. And it's okay when we enter a market, when we're a little guy, we enter a market, we have to pick a niche. Or think about like a handhold when you're rock climbing. You've got to get some traction somewhere. That's why we picked CrossFit. Now, we've been in the market long enough, we've branched out, but we need natural extensions in our audience. We call that clustering. The audience moves out from CrossFit. Those people in CrossFit, many of them tend to be rock climbers and enthusiasts about outdoor activities, so mountain bikers. So we started to expand that market only after we had completely locked down and dominated CrossFit. Then we expanded to rock climbers. And there's a huge surf community in California. We went and got all the surfers, locked down like Billy Kemper. I can't think of all the great names because I'm not a surfer, but literally.
Shane Dorian?
Yes, we got Shane Dorian, all those guys, Spear Fisherman. Like, go look at the Instagram feed from like 3-4 years ago. All those athletes locked down. And that's how we kind of started moving out. But I said, you've got to start somewhere. So pick, who you're going to target first. And it's got to be crystal clear. Okay. And then we're going to make that package and design to speak specifically to them. And then, after that, you've got enough traction in UGC, you can start to try to, expand that circle of influence with other people in the market.
Now, I don't do affiliates, links on this podcast. What I do is, I either know the course, they're either vetted. I know Janelle, and that branding course, Claudia, that might be perfect for you. I haven't taken it, but just knowing Janelle, if you want to put up that link, Janelle, or let Kelsey know, that might be perfect for Claudia to take.
Yep, 100%. In fact, I'm trying to think too, as like we could do I have a brand builder program. I didn't even think about that, but we'll think of something we can do for your audience. You got a great group of people here. However, we can add value for them.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, great. Let's see from Red. How can we circumvent the challenges that Amazon does not allow us to insert any website URLs on video, since it is our store and a brand?
Yeah. So that's why I like to have also my own like e-commerce store as well. But I don't know if you realize this, but that video upload spot, you can get links through. So I know that they started policing that a little more, but when influencers upload that, we call it, it's not the related shorts anymore. It's just the video shorts, or the related videos down at the bottom of your detail page on Amazon. Scroll down. I used to stuff videos in there straight up from my website that had my website link. Now, I do think, and I need to go check, that I just submitted one video last week where they said there was a link in there and it wouldn't upload. So I was like, they must be monitoring this now. But I will tell you that before, that is how I got it through. So I'm going to do one this week and just see if it keeps getting, I'm going to do another one because that's, I don't know, Norm, have you seen it get through with links? I used to have, and if you go look on some of my old products, my links are there to my website in those videos.
What I do to get around it is I have close-ups, or I show the packaging that has the link on the packaging. Yeah.
And it's interesting because like a lot of my brands, I'm not an Amazon seller per se. Like I believe in building a brand, and Amazon to me is just an acquisition channel. It's a great way to acquire customers. And so I'm always building a brand first. Amazon's just another channel that I sell on. So I tend to like to build my brand so that I'm driving branded search to Amazon. So most of the brands that I've built over the years, there's actually branded. I say you're a brand once you have 3,000 searches or more on Amazon. People coming to Amazon actually typing you in by name. And when you have that, like, your packaging, you can have your .coms on there, and you're already known because you've got so much buzz and people talking about you. That it helps a lot, I promise. And you'll see your CPCs go down. I don't know how some of these people, you guys, are competing with the rising cost of CPCs and your tight margins, as the supply chain is a mess. And, I feel like, man, you've got to get really creative. That's where I say guerrilla marketers will always win. In hard times, it's those who know how to be scrappy and generate demand. And those people that all they know how to do is just throw more money on a fire to drive traffic that keeps going up. You'll have an advantage because you'll be thinking creatively and how to get people aware of your products. So
very good.
Okay, Janelle, how are you for time? I know we didn't get to talk about that beforehand.
No, I mean, I do have a meeting in like 10 minutes, but that's, we got 10 minutes if we need it. And I don't know your people probably are, we didn't even eat lunch. Norm hasn't even had lunch.
Well, I have coffee today. And we have to get Janelle one of the mugs, by the way.
Of course, yeah. I'll reach out. We'll get you one. We'll hook you up.
Love it.
Okay, we'll run through these quickly then. We just have a couple more. Cool Hand 99. How long of a video is too short or too long for an Amazon page?
Great question. I've done a lot of work over the years and still do in the YouTube space. In fact, YouTube was my first love. I think Norm knows this, but prior to mastering the Amazon algorithm, I mastered the YouTube algorithm. I still do a lot of work with YouTubers and channels and optimization there. So this is something I'm passionate about, and I will teach how long a video is too long the minute you lose retention. And that's the same same thing on a YouTube video. So if you do not hold my attention, your video is too long. So 5 seconds could be too long. Remember, the goal of your opening of a video, we call it a hook, is to get them to watch the next 5 seconds. The goal of I tell people to think of their videos in 10-second increments. The goal of every 10 seconds is to again watch the next 10 seconds. We live in an ADHD, hyper, like attention divided society, and you have to keep looping them back in and moving them forward. So there's no too long video. There's no too short video. I mean, Amazon will tell you that, ideally 60 to 90 seconds on the detail page. And like for their ads if you do sponsored video ads, you're looking at 15 to 30 seconds. But honestly, I've got 10-minute videos. If you go into your analytics in your Seller Central now in the videos section, you can see how the percentage of people viewing that video, it's not as robust as your YouTube analytics where you can see retention and drop off, but you'll be able to see how long they're watching that video. And if you see like, a 30% retention, you know that your video is not very effective. You should have like, 70% plus. So to answer your question, always obviously less is more. Like don't be like me where I ramble all on. I actually feel like I'm fire hosing you guys right now. I'm trying to deliver as much value in as short as time possible, but like you think about the consumer. What is the most important thing they need to know? And you make it short and sweet. If you go to some of my Glamnetic listings, you'll see that we've got like 10 videos, and we used to have one really long one, and now we've kind of broken it up. And our most powerful one that answers all the questions in 40 seconds or less was the first one. But if they want to keep how to remove, how to use the anchors, they can go watch those additional supplementary videos. But literally, if someone is interested in your product and they're trying to go down a rabbit hole, and I don't know if you've ever met these type of people. I have some engineer friends that overanalyze everything before they make a decision on anything. Those videos will help you close a sale. So they're not going to harm you. All right. A long video, someone made the only harm is if you didn't catch their attention right from the beginning with a powerful hook, is they may be looking at the time and be like, 10 minutes to watch this thing, click out of it and go look for a detail page that has a video that's actually consumable. And that would be shame on you if you have a shizzy video that loses someone's attention in the first 5 seconds.
And Simon, I'm glad we still have you hooked.
Oh, what do we have him hooked? I got to read the comments. I bet there's some great gems in there. Oh, Simon, he's like my new best friend.
All right. Okay, 2 more questions. Redbeard, if I'm not brand registered and cannot add a video, will having someone add a video in their review help?
100%. And you also, sweetheart, or red beard, okay, you're probably a stud man if you got a red beard, you go in and upload videos to your product detail page. So at the bottom, and maybe, I don't know if you guys have a course or you guys teach a coaching program, but you could show them where they could do that, upload a video. From my memory, and I do this quite a bit, just go down to your product detail page, scroll down to where the reviews are. There'll be a little button on that left-hand side of that detail page that says add a video. Click on that, and if your account hasn't been banned from leaving reviews or something like that, you'll be able to upload that video right there, and you can put as many there as you want. Tag me.
Okay. And our very last question is from Charles. Do you recommend anyone we should use for video, both bang for your buck, or
Yes.
if you wanted to spend more?
I'm so glad you asked, because I have so many colleagues and friends in this space that have been so good to me over the years and I've enjoyed working with. In fact, I love when I can give people shout outs, but Matt Johnston with Guide Social, fantastic. In fact, if you go to his website, guidesocial.com, you can see some of the brands he's worked with. Have you guys seen the jaw sizer, that they chew on? And you know what, dude, he's doing, so I told you, I help a lot of YouTubers launch brands. Norm, that company I'm CEO of is called Unifish. So anyhow, I think he calls it Unifish.
Oh, man.
Cool, but no problem. Anyhow, he does packages and they're really, really fantastic. So he usually only works with people with a budget that understand, you've got to spend, he's doing commercial quality stuff. But the cool thing is for me, and you can tell him Janelle sent you, he don't get a commission or anything, but I want him to honor the price that he's giving me and my partners, is he'll do a package, 25 videos for 15 grand. And for some of you might think, oh, well, that's expensive. I'm like, you guys, for commercial quality video, where he's got actors paid and everything scripted, fully scripted, and he knows how to make videos that convert for e-commerce, that's a killer deal. So Matt Johnston, Guide Social, we can put his link in there. He's really good. Also, the funny sales video guys, I've done work with the Harmon brothers, and they're fantastic, but you're talking about almost a year wait list and $500,000 to work with them, which I'm not saying you shouldn't do, because they've launched multi-million-dollar brands with that kind of a budget, but I'm just saying that might be out of your budget. There's like Joseph Wilkins with Funny Sales Guys that I'd be more than happy to introduce to. He uses the same methodology. He's been trained by the Harmon brothers at a much more affordable price. So those are some really great ones.
Okay. And that's it,
thanks
Kelsey?
for grabbing that link, Guide Social Global. Yep. And you know what, Norm, you should have him on the podcast. You know what I mean? He would probably be a great Matt Johnston. He spoke at like Social Media Examiner World. I mean, you probably have plenty of guests, but he'd do a good job for your community.
Yeah, I'd like to have him on. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you could do the intro, that would be fantastic.
I will. Absolutely.
Okay. So, Kelsey, I think that's it, correct?
That's it for questions. We got through them all. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a few minutes before we are going to go to Wheel of Kelsey. So hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll have an extra entry. We're going to go to one more commercial, and then we'll do the Wheel of Kelsey.
Cool.
All right, here we go.
If you're selling on Amazon in 2022, you know how important it is to stand out from your competition. Let Honu Worldwide lend a helping hand with your product innovation to outcompete your competition online. That's right. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the success of your newly innovative product while Honu handles all the work. Visit honuworldwide.com for more information. That's Honu, Honu, worldwide.com, or email savings@honuworldwide.com. Okay, I know that company.
Hey, I was just gonna say I can legit like endorse that company because Afalabi is a gem. Working with him is a treat. Love that dude, and he's helping me with some clients. So I just have to say that I endorse that.
Oh, great! Thank you. All right, so you might want to turn your volume down if this is the first time you've heard this, Janelle. It'll make you jump.
Okay.
All right, here we go. The Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. Okay, let me see. I think I have everyone here. So if you are the winner of today's giveaway, please email me k@lunchwithnorm.com and I'll add you to the list. I just want to double check. Yes, we got everyone. Okay, here we go. I'll give it a spin and let's see who today's winner is.
Did you put our name in?
I should have. All right. Okay, Rad.
Woo, that's
Perfect. Rad's got a couple of things lately.
Yeah, lucky guy. All right. So you are the winner. Congratulations, Rad. Thank you everyone for entering and awesome. Yeah. Great.
And just remember that if you're still interested in that course, which I highly recommend, you can go. It's a $500 value. We're getting a great deal, $97 from Janelle. So we'll post that in there. I was taking a look at it beforehand too. And I'm going to have our team take a look at this as well, because I just listened to what Janelle said today, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Totally. And I'll get Rad some logins so that you can give him his prize.
Okay, very good. All right.
Or actually, can he just email me so I can set up his account?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Janelle at janellepage.com. Yeah.
Okay,
great.
And that's what I was just going to ask next. Man, I got a frog in my throat. Anyway, what is your contact information?
Yeah. So Janelle at janellepage.com. That's my website as well. And I'm like, I don't really have anything to sell. I mean, I do consultations for people if they ever want them or need help, but I have a few courses that when I teach at these conferences, I just digitize them and then was like, gee, I mean, I should make this more accessible to people who can attend. So it was probably the smartest thing I've done, because when you're sleeping, you're making sales. I mean, that's why e-commerce is so great, right, guys?
Yeah.
Like, you can make money in your sleep. Although I've never found, I love when people say something's passive income. I'm like, I have not found, I was gonna say, I haven't ever found truly passive income, but this is the last tip for you guys. I know it doesn't have to be the last, but on the top of my head, oil wells have been truly passive income for me. And so if you need a tax deduction or anything. And that's probably the best tip I can give people is, and cryptocurrency bots. Those are pretty passive. But other than that, I've had to work pretty good for the money I earn, which is good because I like working.
Yeah,
but,
perfect. Another great tip. All right, Janelle, you have been fantastic. This hour flew by. I mean, hour and 15 minutes. I got to have you on if you have some more time to spare for us, but love it. Just love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. It was really great meeting you all.
All right. So join us next time. And I think on Friday, it's my buddy, Kevin King. So we're just going to be talking shop and just a bit about Amazon, a bit about the state of the industry, e-com, anything we can talk about. So if you do have questions for Kevin and myself, just make sure you get them over to Kelsey so we can, usually they're stocked full of questions throughout the whole episode. So anyways, you got questions, send them over to Kelsey and we will make sure we get those answered. Okay, Kels, where are you, sir?
All right. Yes, thank you so much. That was a great episode. We had tons of great feedback. Rad is even saying so many nuggets from Janelle. Have to watch it again. I even got some comments on Facebook being messaged to me saying I didn't know we were watching at 1.5 times speed, but there's just so much information that everyone I think is going to have to rewatch this a couple of times to get all those nuggets. Yeah, amazing. So thank you so much. If you are looking to join our community, our Beard Nation, you can go to our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce collective. That is where all the good stuff happens. That's where you can find people like Simon, Rosalind, all of our Beard Nation members that were commenting today. They're also part of the group. So rad too. So check it out. Thank you so much. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Last thing, if you have the time, if you're able to, please give us a review or rate us on Apple Podcasts. That does a lot for the podcast, just for ranking and all that fun stuff. So we do really appreciate that for those who have rated and reviewed us. And of course, just watching the podcast is more than enough. So thank you, everyone. And I think that's it.
Okay, just two quick things. And I believe I don't have the code. I don't have anything yet, but I think it's Norm 500. If you want to go if you want to go to Cancun for the mastermind, where there's I don't know how many speakers, there's a ton of speakers there. I know it's tough for the Mexico trip right now going into Mexico City, but if you are interested in Cancun, we're offering $500 off that mastermind. There's already roughly around 70 people going. If you'd like to join us there, that would be great. And it's a $500 discount against that event. And it's all inclusive, by the way, at the Moon Palace. The last thing, and Kevin and I will touch base on this, is if you're a Formula One, if you're an enthusiast, we have got a great event happening in October. We talked about it on a live the other day, but we've got a VIP canopy on turn 1 in Austin. You can go to collectivemindsociety.com and all the information's there, but we're having a small 15-person mastermind that we just put together. And the only reason it's a mastermind is because our families were going down and we bought VIT tickets, and then the F1 events came up and asked us if we wanted to get a cabana instead. So we just bought one. Anyways, that's it. If you're interested, it'll be a great time. That's it for today. So join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. We got a ton of engagement today. Really appreciate that. And that's why I love this community so much. And we couldn't do this without you. So please, if you haven't been part of the community, join. You'll love it. And we'll see you next time. It's Wednesday. I guess we'll see you on Friday.
Lunch with